This video is going to be a film study look at Will McDonald IV, the second-year edge defender for the New York Jets. He had two more sacks in their 24-3 win over the Patriots in Thursday Night Football. Gives him a total of 5 sacks so far in 2024. I'm going to let some film flow through here just as an introductory piece. Won't be spot shadowed. We will actually break down the film and spot shadow or highlight McDonald later, but he actually has 6 sacks so far this year. I believe he has 2 half sacks split with other defensive linemen. Very sudden, if you ask me. His burst is obvious. There's a variety of moves being tried, generally off the left side against the right tackle, but occasionally he's lined up over a guard, dropping out as a spy. In fact, he has a sack against the Titans from a spy technique. So there's a variety of moves and a variety of alignments as well. The Jets are off to a 2-1 start. They, of course, limited the Patriots to less than 2 yards per pass play. I think it was like 1.7 or 1.8. I think McDonald was at the center of it. Of course, there's a lot of guys involved. I'm a fan of Chuck Clark because I'm a Ravens content creator, and to see him succeeding and playing well in the Jets defense is wonderful. I'm gonna let the film flow through here and just talk about some of the things that I've noticed with McDonald in the snaps that I've watched. I'm a little fortunate because he's only played about 30 snaps per game, so it's very easy to go to NFL Pro and find all, I think 95 of his snaps for the year and watch them today on a Saturday where really had nothing else to do. The Jets have 14 sacks through 3 games, so their system works. Whether it's Jermaine Johnson, they can't get Hassan Reddick, to agree or come into the building, so he's still on a holdout situation. Unfortunately, Johnson is injured, so Will McDonald IV is going to see more reps. He actually got, I think, 35 snaps on the field against the 49ers, and I believe registered 1 tackle. Certainly didn't have the impact that he had against the Titans in week 2, and then week 3, Thursday Night Football, like I said, against the Patriots. It's the variety of the moves that sticks out to me, the commitment to them as well. This will be in no particular order necessarily, but just notice how decisive he is, whether he's running a pass rush move like a spin or a stunt, or in this case, it's a play action boot concept away from him, and there is no worry or fear about where he should go. This is first quarter. We're 5 minutes into the game, and he's just totally attacking the quarterback, forcing Jacoby Brissett to make a decision sooner than perhaps he would like to. There's all kinds of ways you can play this. The defensive end can run down the line of scrimmage to play the running back, the run concept from behind. You can kind of hedge it, slow play it, whatever you want to call it, and then veer off to the quarterback late. Of course, that means you're probably not going to actually hit him. You're just going to, quote, contain him. This is an aggressive mentality. I don't know that all of the defensive ends for the Jets do this, but you have to say that it is sudden, it is decisive. There's no bullshit about it at all. It's not to say that some of his quarterback hits or sacks aren't on actual moves. This is a gang sack. I think these guys are racing to see who all can get to the quarterback. There's 3 guys there. Clemens and McDonald, I believe, end up getting the credit for it. Trying to swat down on the outside arm of the right tackle, and then already beginning his spin. It's the right foot to me, the flexion that's there. Maybe you'd like a little bit more explosion, but look, he's getting engaged by another defender upon the spin, and he's able to play through contact. Supposedly, from what I read just briefly today, about 20 minutes of perusing through articles, the guy was an incredibly hard worker in training camp. As a second-year player, it's showing up, if you ask me. This one isn't just a quarterback hit on the play-action boot. It's a sack. This is about 17 or 18 minutes of gameplay later. Same concept. McDonald is up at the top side of the screen to the field, and on the play-action boot is going to go directly for the quarterback. There's just no time for you to run. There's no time for Jacoby Brissett to get anything accomplished here, whether it's the tight end slipping out into the flats, tight end possibly trying to block Will McDonald. He is shot out of a cannon, and there's no one to get him. It's a tactical decision by the Jets. I think this one actually ends up being technically counted as a split sack. I feel like that should be a solo sack, but I could be wrong there. Again, against the Patriots, you're going to get a switch rush between these 2 guys. I think this time I'll give you the end zone angle of this one. This is fourth quarter. The game is over at this point from who's going to win standpoint. There's 2 minutes left, but these guys are hunting. And that's the thing that I think I want to point out here is that Based upon other NFL defenses that I'm watching right now, the Jets defensive linemen, particularly defensive ends, almost seem to be in hunt mode throughout. Everyone's in hunt mode for a sack when it's you're up 24-3 and there's 2 minutes left, like there is in this situation. This is the same play from the end zone angle. He's going to stunt underneath, play through some contact, ends up splitting the sack with, I believe, is Taylor. I think his name is Taylor. I don't pretend to be incredibly familiar with the entire roster. Of course, everyone knows the Williams brothers. Sauce Gardner, Ahmad Gardner, and Chuck Clark is a guy that I'm quite familiar with. And, of course, Morgan Moses, who moved over from the Ravens along with the left guard, John Simpson. It's a nice little switch rush, if you ask me. You got the defensive tackle late moving at this angle to basically pick clear space. The guard recognized it, trying to fold underneath. You can see he stabs Mcdonald to try to get him going this way. But Mcdonald's got great balance, great core strength, if you ask me, to stay on that swivel, circle back to the quarterback, which was Drake May at this point, and get the sack. Maybe I was wrong on the play I spoke on a moment ago. I think this is the second split sack that he had. At this point, it's kind of difficult to navigate with so many split sacks in there. This one's cool. This is the last week against the Titans. It's a third down, 3rd and 2, in fact, in the first quarter, and he's dropping out. So the Jets are rushing 3, and because of the athleticism that Will McDonald IV has, they're using him as a QB spy. Because I'm a Ravens fan and Ravens content creator, I have seen, of course, multiple teams use quarterback spy in the past. That's what a lot of teams want to do with Lamar Jackson in certain situations. Leo Chenal was really good at it in week 1, but he didn't sack Lamar at all. It's a different athleticism balance when you're talking about Will McDonald versus Will Levis. You, the Jets, have the advantage in that situation. In this case, his first sack of the year. Later on in the game, this is actually about 35 seconds left in the game, shows the strength to play through contact. I will give you the end zone angle, but also the strength to grab the quarterback on the way by. Again, I said he plays generally off the left side in this kind of tilted alignment. He really plays through the right tackle here. Great contact balance. If you ask me, there's a nice strike. It's obviously he's got his right hand on the inside of the right tackle. I think it's Petit Ferrer, but I could be wrong. And then at the correct moment is able to swipe down with his outside arm and drop his pad level, play low, grab Will Levis, pull him down, whether it's a grab of a portion of the jersey, shoulder pad that you're not supposed to, I don't know. But the guy is a demon off the edge right now, leading the NFL in sacks. Of course, nobody else has played more than 2 games other than the Patriots and the Jets at this point. But with the snaps that are going to be out there for him and the Jets presumably being good against the run, putting you in a lot of third down situations, I think Will McDonald's going to get a lot of these opportunities. And just with the variety of moves that he's put out on film, just that I'm showing you, I think it's pretty obvious he's going to continue to produce sacks. Is it going to be as many as we're seeing right now? Well, no. He's got losses on film too. This inside swipe rush I've seen 3 times like I said, I watched all 95 plays today, 59 of which were pass rush situations. Now, I found 3 or 4 in there where I thought he was like designed to drop out a little bit. But look, it's the NFL Pro website. If you don't subscribe to NFL Plus or NFL Pro, man, I would highly recommend it. I was able to find 3 instances of him trying to use this inside swipe and it not working. They're not all that poor, obviously. This was a 3rd and 2 against the 49ers in week 1 where, he ends up on the ground. He's got a couple of anomalous sacks this year, but you have to get those in order to get to 15, 16, 17 sacks, which he's got the talent to do. He gets chipped by the running back and ends up on the ground, and his backside or his left foot causes the sack and the fumble. He did get credit for it, and obviously the Jets were able to recover it as well. But there's enough wins here from week 3 against the Patriots and week 2 against the Titans from a pass rush perspective to give him credit for the number that he's got there. Sacks are sometimes a little bit random. not always going to be a situation where every time you win, you're going to get a sack. In fact, your pass rush win rate, I think, at times is a little bit inaccurate. There's hard-coded rushes whereby teams are telling a player to rush upfield such that they can stunt someone else to their inside gap or run a game on the other side. Trying a little Euro step here type move, and the left tackle is up to the task. I think Will McDonald's having a fantastic start to the season. If you're a Jets fan and you watch this long, first of all, thank you. Second of all, I can only imagine how it must have felt. Well, last week I believe it was for Jermaine Johnson to go down, but then on top of that, the Hassan Reddick situation where the Jets and Reddick apparently can't come to an agreement. Whatever that situation is, I'm not here to comment on, but to now be on another guy, in this case Will McDonald IV, who's producing at an incredibly high rate from a sack situation, but also activity. His activity level is incredibly high. It might be possible that him at that 30 to 35 snaps per game number is the right number for playing at an insane work rate, which everyone in the NFL on the defensive side that's a starter plays incredibly hard. Everyone on the defensive line is hunting sacks at a certain point during the game when you're up 24-3, for example. Will McDonald IV right now looks like a guy who's playing at 110% effort, speed, tenacity on each one of these moves that I showed you. Perhaps I didn't do a great job explaining some of them, but hopefully the film that I chose illustrated to you the high-level effort and intensity and burst that he's playing with, which is part and parcel. It's one of the elements that's helped creating so many of these sack situations for the Jets. Again, 14 sacks through 3 games. I think that's a pretty high number. Indicative, if you ask me, of the style of defense that the Jets play. I don't get to watch them on a consistent basis, but I recall the Ravens playing them early in the season, 2022, and seeing how those guys attacked, how those wider defensive ends were able to put pressure on the quarterback, kind of collapse the pocket at times. This looks like a good one. Maybe he's a little lighter than certain guys who play defensive end. I think 6'4", in the 240, 242 range based on what I saw. You guys let me know what you think of the plays that I picked to show you how well Will McDonald IV is playing so far. Evaluate or give me feedback on the way that I broke down the plays. If you think other Jets fans or Iowa State fans or football fans in general would enjoy this content, this film study look at Will McDonald IV, specifically how he played against the Patriots in Week 3, but overall how he's performing in the absence of Reddick and now Jermaine Johnson, then please consider grabbing a link to this video, sharing it out on social media to help this content get more reach.